Ayo Lipper ARMY welcome back to You the Best. So today, we ain't gonna be fishing, but we're gonna be preparing. The Trouto truck for fall stock in 2023 is upon us. Lipper ARMY, give it to it. A lot more licks and rips all winter long. Around us, I think it's about another 3 or 4 days they're going to be stocking by us, so I want to be prepared. So I said, while I'm getting prepared, let's see what's in the bag. Maybe Lipper ARMY needs to see what's in the bag too. Maybe get a little extra tips or whatever to help you guys get some more licks and rips. So Lipper ARMY, come along with me. Let's go check the trout bag. Lipper ARMY, Trouto trainer, gotta be in there now, right? Lipper ARMY, keep 'em, keep 'em. Dust on the bag, Lipper ARMY. Has spring been that time ago? Fall time is here, Lipper ARMY. So I want to try being as basic as I can, Lipper ARMY, and help exactly get it in, how I get it in for these trout. They're very going to be easy to catch if you follow these ways, I believe, and that's how I use to get it in. There's pretty much 4 different ways that I only use to catch these trout. Now, one way is mouse tails. Now, we got mouse tails, all different colors I own, but the ones I really like is the orange tail with the green head. And then we also got the white head with the glow orange speckled tail. These two are really heavy hitters. If you got to pick 2, I would pick these 2. If you had to get a third in the wintertime, they do sometimes really like the pink and the white head or the white body with the pink head. So if you got to pick 3, I would pick these 3. It's all you need. Make sure you add a butterworm with it because true women love the meat. Butterworm, mealworm, waxworm, sometimes even a nightcrawler with it. And then another one, which is very, very good, is power eggs, Lipper ARMY. And don't forget, in the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to rig these with the weight, the line, everything. If you need to know right now, fast forward. Who cares about this video? Fast forward to the end, and it's going to show you exactly how to fish these, exactly how to get it in. But you're going to need also power eggs. You're going to need the white eggs, no yolk, ain't no joke, and the green eggs with a little bit of meat, green eggs and some ham. I mean, we got orange juice, no pulp, pinkaroonie, also a little bit of garlic and some honey worms. Little honey worms right here, honey girls. But my 2 main ones that I always find I come back to is the white eggs, no yolk, ain't no joke. And these ones are half white, half clear with a little blue speck. And these ones are heavy hitters. And then I always go back with the green eggs and some ham. They can call them yellow. I call them green. They're a little bit yellow, though. You can call that, too. But green eggs, a little bit of meat sounds just perfect. And these 2 are amazing. When you add with these, make sure you add some meat because women love the meat. You want to add a mealworm or a butterworm, something, because, you know, true love the meat. Meat is meat to be eaten, right, Lipper ARMY? You know what it is. But besides that, that's 2 tricks right there, which in the end, like I said, I'm going to show you exactly how I rig these and how I use them. So we'll move on from here. There are those 2 hot points. Now, there's one that I really love, and I get every kind of species on. I got every kind of trout on it imaginable, especially palominos. Believe it or not, they love this. And I preach it in all my videos all the time, and that is the power minnow, Lipper ARMY. The power minnow would get it in wherever you go. You got black, green, smelt. Smelt is my number 1. These are 2-inch. You also have 3-inch, which is sometimes a heavy hitter too. It works good for everything. I lost a couple muskies on these, believe it or not. But you also have the power minnow in white with a little blue top, which is a heavy hitter too. I get all trout on this. And how I use these, how I'm going to rig them up, is going to be with jig heads. It's a 1/64 ounce. It's a trout magnet. They make them. 1/64 is usually my go-to for these power minnows. But also I like to do also a 1/32 ounce all the way up to a 1/8, depending on if a 1/8 could be if a creek is really flowing. But sometimes, very, very sometimes, and it's really keyed in, they love the green jig head. If you got to pick any color jig head besides a regular jig head, if it's just regular plain, it's going to be a green jig head, Lipper ARMY. I don't know what it is, but sometimes they just eye on that and they lick it up. So you're going to want a 1/64 up to a 1/8 ounce jig head, Lipper ARMY. So you got 1/64, 132, 116, and 1/8. Those three kind right there is what you're going to need with the power minnow. Another thing I found in the fall, I didn't use the power minnow, which is always the power minnow, but I found good in the winter sometimes, is the Electric Chicken Z-Man Micro Fitness Paddle Tail Shad Fry. This one has been a heavy hitter this winter, last winter. I was very surprised. They really loved it. So that's another hitter, Electric Chicken kind there. Now that's 3 ways. So you got power minnow with the jig head. You got the mouse tail and the power eggs right here. Now there's pretty much just one other one I really use. You can get into paste. If I use paste, it's very rare. It's going to be the garlic paste or the corn flavor. Those two are heavy hitters. And then we also have, which is one of my favorites also, is the 4th way, is hard jerk baits. Hard baits, LipperArmy. This stuff I love. So we got the one side here. As you can see, it is full of the Rebel Craw, aka Cray Cray. And this one's my heavy hitter right here. You just can't complain with it. And look at that, baby. I got every kind of trout on that too. And I like this color. It's a little silver, white side, green top, a little bit of orange on the bottom. I also have it in gold and silver if you want to get bling bling, you know, flip the watch around the neck. But sometimes if it's murky water, you want to use a little green and orange, as you can see. And sometimes it's just what they want even in clear water. But if you have to get a little cray cray on, my favorite, and that's all I really ever need, is this color right here. This is a little beautiful natural looking one. And here's a Rebel Craw. You can order them. This one goes a little deeper. This one has a bigger tongue. You can see tongue is a lot bigger. Doesn't go that much deeper, but it gets down pretty much to that calm I need to for them creek fishing, for smallies or for trout, but mainly trout. And here's also more of the ultralight minnow. I caught more brown trout than I can imagine on these. These things are amazing. They sink, suspending, so they slow sink. And these things are awesome go-getters. Your jig pop pop, sit, kind of little wiggles down a little bit, jig pop pop again. You can do it fast or slow. You got it in silver and black, which is a heavy hitter sometimes. You got it in the rainbow trout, which I showed. And you also got a couple more ones, is the orange and the black. Sometimes when that weird red water upstate, they like that color, the orange and the black top. And then you also got brown trout. This is my all-time favorite. This is the brown trout color right here. And these are like 2.5 inches right here. These baits, by the way. And they just get it in. And if you want to get a little smaller, a little bit finessier, which is always on the back burner, I'll never forget about this one. This one got me so many licks I can imagine. It's a Strike King Bitsy Minnow LipperArmy. If you got to pick one color, get the Sexy Shad. They're like $5. These things are very good. They vibrate good. Trout sometimes can just not resist them. And that's pretty much all you're going to need for baits, LipperArmy. Like I said at the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to rig the power rigs and mouse tails. And also, we got a Trouto trainer. You can't forget a Trouto trainer because you can keep 3. Right now, you can keep 3 trout in the fall. So you got to have that. The rag, always the rag. The rag got to always stay in the pocket. You don't want your pants getting gooked up. Rag is always in the pocket. And I know it's fall time now, winter time. Hot hands are a must, LipperArmy. You see them? Oh, you need the hot hands. And you're going to have trout poles right here. Trout poles, trout pole stands. You can have 3 in Pennsylvania. You can have 3. So I got 3 rod holders. But usually I just put 2 out. And I call these faith poles. Because you got faith, they're going to get licked and get ripped. So you cast it out and you let it sit. And then you put a little bottom bobber lick sensor on it. So when you're getting them licks, you can see the bobber come up at it. So I got 2 of those. And then the third one, I'm usually using the power minnow, bitsy minnow, jerk bait, or bouncing a mouse tail, like, you know, popping it. But that's pretty much it, LipperArmy. Hopefully this will help a little bit for you. Here's at the end of the clip now. I'll show you exactly how to use these power rigs, how to rig them, and mouse tails, LipperArmy. Thanks so much again for watching, and never forget, you're the best. So the first things you're going to need, LipperArmy, which are my favorite, are these kind of hooks. They were size 10 Mosquito hook, 5177 11s. Then, for your line, both leader line and regular line, I use Berkley Vanish, 4-pound. Always fluorocarbon. And then I always use, also, for one of the ways, is a barrel swivel. Size 14. You can go to a 10 if you need to. And then there's a couple different weights we need. The one way is going to be little BB split shots. And then there's two other kinds that I switch off and on. We got the 3/8 ounce. Sometimes you can use a half. And then we also have the 1/8, which I like the jig pop, which I'll get into. So, and I don't know what kind of flavor you like to use. Sometimes it's white eggs, no yolk, ain't no joke. Orange juice, no pulp, or green eggs, no ham. And never, never forget about the good old meat. The women always love the meat. So now, the two rigs we're going to use, let's move this around here, is, so we'll do the creek video first, the creek spot, or maybe in the canal. So what you're going to have is, you're going to have your line hooked to the reel, and then have a hook tied to the end. When you have a hook tied to the end, you're going to have a little BB split shot right above it. And it depends if you want the BB closer to the hook or not. But then all you do is put a little meat on there. Come on now. I like to hook it through the back so it frowns down, because then when I get my white eggs, no yolk, ain't no joke on there, and I hook it just a little bit, I hook it like that, because you want the hook showing. You don't want to puncture the egg halfway, because if you do it halfway, that hook is not going to be showing and you're not going to rip that lip. So that's how that's going to be, just like that. And that mealworm's already dancing up a storm. Baby. Now, the other way, which I also do, if I'm just fishing at a lake, and let's say I just want to fish bottom, I'll put on a 3/8 to a half to a 3/8 sliding sinker. Always have the weight sliding. And that's where the barrel swivel comes into play. The barrel swivel stops it because you want to make a leader. And you have your leader, so the weight stops. You got your leader line, and you have a hook. And on the hook, you do the same thing. You put a mealworm on, and let's do a little green eggs, no ham, because maybe that's what else they want. And I have my leader really short just for this video. Very short. But I like to make my leader for a lake at least 2 to 3 foot length. Now, another way, which I guess would be a third way, but it's the same way, you would call that a Carolina rig, is a smaller weight. I prefer a 1/8. You can also do it as split shot sometimes, but I like a 1/8. And it's still sliding, and it's still stopping on that barrel swivel. And what you do is, I like to have also 2.5 foot leader, is cast it out, let it sit. Once it hits the bottom, wait a few seconds, jig pop, let it sit, reel down, wash that line. Once you see that line run, you rip. And that's how I rig it, LipperArmy. So hopefully this gets you a little refreshment and it helps you. You're the best, LipperArmy.